The NBA season is officially coming back. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And boy, as you can tell, hopefully by my voice, I am excited. I am elated. I am happy. I am just overflowing with emotion at this point because the NBA season is coming back. Now, I had been giving you guys the updates throughout, right? And we had been hearing that the NBA season is potentially going to return. So what is different now? Well, here's the thing. We had gotten a date, but there was nothing official. Like, they were still discussing it. They were still thinking about it. Now it's going to approve. It's going to a vote. And all of the owners are going to vote on it, and it is going to pass, okay? So I'm already saying that it's going to pass. Technically, it still has not been approved officially, but I am just going to assume it's passing because that's what all the reports are saying. And it will, folks. It will. Trust me, okay? So it will pass, and that means we officially will have NBA basketball back in our lives. And again, as you can tell, I am so excited to have NBA basketball back. It's been so long, folks. I mean, my goodness, I don't even remember what NBA basketball used to look like. That is how long it's been, okay? But with that being said, the NBA is coming back, like I mentioned, with, the format of a 22 team with a play-in for an 8 seed. And so there's a lot of questions here. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, Faiz. What's going to happen with these 22 teams? How do they determine who gets that 8th spot? How many regular season games are they playing? When does the season start? When does it end? What happens next season? I got it. I hear you guys, and I've done my research, and I will answer all of those questions. So before I do, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and make sure to go ahead and subscribe, folks. That's the best way you guys can support me on this channel, by subscribing and turning on that bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video, because I do so pretty much every day. Okay, so again, you're going to want to stay tuned in and be notified. So, bunch of questions here. Let's answer. Let's talk about the NBA season. Let's get into it. So, let's get started with question number 1, which is, when is the NBA season going to return? The NBA season is going to return on July 31st. That is expected to be the start date for the resumption of the 2019-2020 NBA season. Question number 2, when is the NBA season going to end? The latest possible date for the NBA season is October 12th. That is scheduled to be Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Again, that is if it goes to a Game 7. So right around October 12th is the end potentially of the NBA season. Question number 3, how many teams are going to Orlando for the NBA season? The answer, 22. So 8 teams. Your vacation started early, including my Chicago Bulls. So you're officially done, and your off season started. Now, technically, we haven't had, we're not going to have free agency or anything like that happening because, again, the other teams are playing, but your off season has started, so you got a longer vacation to those 8 teams, okay? So next question, which are these 22 teams? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's take a look at the board here, and we see here, I know there's a lot here, but I'll explain it all to you guys. In the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, you've got your top 8 seeds that normally make the playoffs. So all those teams are coming in. So that's 16 teams right there, right? East and West. These are the records at the time of the season being suspended, okay? And I've included only the records for the 8th and 9th seeds. You'll see here why. 8th, 9th, and below. And this is the reason why. So you've got the 16 teams, 8 and 8 from each conference. And then you've got an additional team from the East, the Wizards, that are coming to Orlando. That's 17. And then you've got an additional 5 teams coming from the West in the Blazers, Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So those are the 22 teams that are coming to Orlando for the resumption of the NBA season. So the next question then is, how does this work with the format now of the 22 teams? How do they determine the 8 seed? Well, they are going to play 8 regular season games when the season kicks off again on July 31st. These 8 regular season games are for every team, not just those teams that I mentioned on the bubble and below, which is the 8th, 9th, 10th, etc. It's for every team. Once they've played all 8 regular season games, that will determine seeding. Okay, so as you could tell, let me bring the board back up here. We've got, teams in the 8 games. Let's say if the Grizzlies lose all 8 and the Blazers win all 8, or they win more than the Grizzlies do here, they can catapult them technically within those 8 regular season games, right? And so those 8 regular season games, after the conclusion of that, then there will be a determination if a play-in, for the 8th spot is necessary. So let me explain, okay? And I'll do it by an example here. So let me get my marker ready. So we'll use just the Magic and the Wizards because you've only got one team here in the East as an example. So let's say after the 8 games, okay, that the record stays, the difference stays the same. So let's say the Magic and the Wizards both win all 8 games. Again, it's probably not going to happen, folks, but let's just say they do. So that would mean 38 wins for the Magic, and for the Wizards, you would have 24 plus 6, you'd have 32. Okay, so that would be after 8 games. Well, technically, so 38, 35, and 32 and 40, this would be a difference of more than 4 games, which is what the NBA is saying will be the determining factor for playing for the tournament. If the difference between the 8th and 9th seed is 4 games or more, there will not be, I repeat, not be a play-in tournament. Magic, in this scenario, would get that 8th seed, and the Wizards would be eliminated. If the difference is less than 4 games, like it is currently for the Blazers and Grizzlies, which is 29 and 32 wins, if it is less than 4 games, then there will be a play-in tournament. How will this play-in tournament go? Which is the next question. It will be single and double elimination. Okay, so how does that work? Basically like this. You're going to have 2 potential games. Again, let's use the example for the Wizards and the Magic. Let's say that the Wizards are 4 games or less by the end of the 8-game regular season to the Orlando Magic. They have a play-in tournament. How does the tournament work? The Magic are the 8th seed. Wizards are the 9th seed. If the Magic win 1 game against the Wizards, they get the 8th seed. Single elimination for the 8th seed. But it is double elimination for the 9th seed. So let's say the Magic and the Wizards play in this tournament, and the first game is won by the Wizards. Well, the Wizards don't automatically win the tournament. They have to play and beat the Magic again. And if they do, they get the 8th spot. If they don't, that means the Magic won, and they only had to win 1 game, so they get it. So that's how single versus double elimination works. The Magic only have to win 1 game, but the Wizards have to win 2 games. So if the Magic win 1 game, whether it's the first game or the second game, they get it. The Wizards, they have to win both. So that is how that works. It's not best 2 out of 3 technically, because you won't ever get to a 3rd game. If you split, the Magic win, right? Because they only need 1 win. So that is how the play-in tournament will work, and it'll be the same case, obviously, for the Western Conference, but the Western Conference has a lot more teams than the East does. You have the Blazers, the Pelicans, Kings, Spurs, and Suns. So that hopefully answers all the questions, because after you determine the top 8 seeds from both conferences and you had the play-in tournament or you don't, then you'll have a regular 7-game series for every round like you usually do every year for the NBA season. Okay? So nothing's changing there, which is fantastic, because I didn't want the format to change because that would mean that this year would be sort of an asterisk, if you will, or asterisk, if you will. And so there is no cross-conference play here. We're not combining the East and the West. We're just having the potential of a play-in tournament for the 8 seed. And so let me just say, this was a fantastic decision by Adam Silver and his staff, because I have no issues at all. All the teams on the bubble that thought they had a chance, they're going to be given that chance. 8 regular season games is perfect because it gives the players, and even teams like the Lakers, who you guys would think, why the heck do the Lakers or Clippers or Bucks that have clinched need these 8 games? Well, you need a couple of games to ramp up here, right? You need a couple of games to get back into playing shape, to be able to get back into the right chemistry, the right groove for the playoff start, right? So you need a little bit of time. They can think of it like preseason games, even though those games will count. But I love this. I love this. And Adam Silver, man, always knocks it out of the park. What a fantastic commissioner he is. This is great for the NBA. The only negative, literally the only negative, is I believe the start date is a little too late. And that in turn makes the end date a little too late, because you are going to be competing with the NFL regular season when the NBA finals are going on, which again, you don't want to do. You'll be competing with college football as well. And so I do wish the NBA started the season a little earlier than July 31st. We've still got quite a ways to go before that happens. And hopefully that would have allowed the NBA to try to avoid the NFL. Again, this is a different season. We've never dealt with anything like this, but you still want to avoid that. So that would be my only negative. And of course, this pushes back next season, because now if the season ends in October, that means that next season has to start, in December or January. You need time for the draft. You need time for free agency. So that pushes the calendar back. So next season's already impacted as well. But I'm not worried about that, okay? I don't want to think about next season. Let's just think about this season. But with that being said, guys, I love this. Hopefully this answers all your questions about the format. This is how the NBA is coming back. If you do have more questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. So with that being said, tons of NBA videos will be coming out, guys. So stay tuned for that. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.